Persona. We love Persona, right, guys? Guys? Well, I've been wanting to do this video for a while now, but I kind of stopped uploading, so, like, why not just make the video now? That's what I'm thinking. My favorite gaming series has to be Persona, and I'd have to also say that my favorite gaming genre is fighting games. So I thought, what if there was a Persona fighting game? A new Persona fighting game. I mean, this channel's first video had to do with my favorite anime getting a fighting game, so why not just go 2 for 2 and get a new Persona fighting game as well? The main thing we'll be going over about this video, though, has to be which characters would be in the game. But to do that, you kind of need to think about what the fighting game story would be about, which, when I predicted characters last time for a fighting game, I didn't really take that into consideration. Now, while Persona 4 Arena and Ultimax had the story take place, I believe, a year after Persona 4, I think it'd be really cool if the story of this game took inspiration from Persona Q, where the groups from all the games kind of get transported from their own respected timeline to this random world and have to basically either fight each other or just team up. This would allow for certain characters, to be in the game that I really want. Also, one final thing that I should mention is that I only ever played the modern Persona games. That means 3, 4, and 5. So I have yet to play 1, and I barely touched 2. You can call me a fake fan if you want to. My feelings will only be hurt a little bit. Okay, a little more than a little bit, but still. Now, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax ended up having 22 characters in the game, but I wanted to change things up a little bit, so that game came out back in 2013, and now it's 2025, meaning that we could definitely add a few characters. So we'll go with like 26. How about that? I think that's good enough. And something else that I should mention is that instead of it being a single fighter like Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, we can take some inspiration from the new League of Legends fighting game that's coming out very soon and make it a 2v2 fighter, just to change some things up. So, with all that out of the way, we could actually talk about the characters that I picked. And the first couple will be the newcomers of Persona 5. I know they're not really newcomers, but they're kind of newcomers, so we're going to count it. To start things off, we have some obvious choices, such as Joker, Ren, or the protagonist, whichever one you want to call him. We're going to call him Joker in this video because it's easiest. Ryuji, An, Yusuke, Makoto, Haru, and Morgana. Now, you may have noticed that Futaba is not there, and that's simply because she really wouldn't fit into a fighting game. She'd be a cool character, don't get me wrong, but she's kind of like Fuka in the fact that they just wouldn't fight. Now, I could see characters like Joker and Morgana being more of a rushdown type character, since they would probably be pretty fast, but also wouldn't do a lot of damage. I could see characters like Ryuji and Haru play as like similar heavy hitting characters, but maybe Haru does less damage, but has like range attacks, because in Persona 5 she has more like ranged attacks, which is yeah. An would probably play similar to Yukiko though, in my opinion. Just when I see gameplay from Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I honestly would see An play very similar to Yukiko. Yusuke, I can definitely see as a faster version of Johnny from the Guilty Gear series, which would be sick, by the way. Imagine like Yusuke just as a zoner. It'd be awesome. I would love it. And since Makoto is more of a brawler, I could definitely see her as a slower Akihiko. But maybe she would do like a little more damage. Who knows? I'd also think it'd be pretty cool though if she had the move where she could use her persona like Wario's motorcycle from Smash. I'm not done with Persona 5, however, since there are a few characters that I think would be great to add to this game. Those characters consist of Akechi and Sumire. Those are kind of obvious, but also Arena from Tactica and Zenkichi from Strikers. Now, while I believe that characters from the spin-off games would be amazing, it'd probably be better to put them as DLC characters since we're kind of sticking with a 26 character roster here. But I am going to keep Akechi and Sumire just for the main game. Akechi is the main character that I want to talk about since he has 2 personas, those being Robin Hood and Loki. Now, the idea I have for him is either between the Smash method, being where it's like Mythra and Pyro, where you just do an input and you switch between the two. That would work definitely. Or an install method where you use meter and maybe you start off as Robin Hood, and then you use meter, and then you basically get to use Loki and just do more damage, which I think would also work really well. I think it'd be just so cool. And as for Sumire, she could definitely be an all-rounder, but since she's kind of like Manon from Street Fighter 6 with gymnastics, that's her only similarity is gymnastics. But I think it'd be funny if she was a grappler. Now, she probably wouldn't be, but I think it'd be funny, so I'm going to stick with it.
Hey, this is editing winter. Currently, it's 1:30 in the morning, but Yeah, I've completely forgot about Maruki. Maruki would be a really cool character as well, but I'm tired, so that's all I'm going to say.
On a Persona 4, I'm not really going to be going into it simply because most of the characters that I would already add to the game are in 2 fighting games. One being Persona 4 Arena, and the other one being BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Now, something I will mention though is the fact that in that game, they have the shadows where you could basically, I'm gonna be honest actually, I really don't even know what the shadows do, and I could have searched it up, but I didn't feel like it. Now, I've played Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, but like a couple of times. You're going to see gameplay of it right now, and hence why I'm so bad at it. But I think I'm going to get rid of the shadows because now we're at 26 characters, and I think the goal is to mostly make them all do something different and unique. I mean, that's what a fighting game is, but still, we want to make sure they're all unique. So, as Persona 3, it's the same as P4 in the fact that most of the characters are in a fighting game already. But the 2 characters that I wanted to mention have got to be Makoto and Shinjiro. Now, Makoto would probably play similarly to you, but I think that it'd be really cool just to be able to play him. And he probably would have a few cool and unique differences in gameplay compared to you. Something else that I think would be really cool is if they added Kotone and did something kind of like Grand Blue, where they had Gran and Jita, how do you say that name? Anyways, the same, but you still got to pick the choice, which was just a cool addition. For Shinjiro, however, I'm mainly adding him because I know a lot of people like him, and he probably would be pretty fun, but I can honestly see him playing as just a slower version of Sho from Persona 4 Arena. The main reason I say that is because the whole blood thing that they got going on. What? The whole blood thing? What am I even saying? I'm keeping this in because I think it's pretty funny, but what's happened? What? But speaking of Sho, that's another reason I brought him up, because it was a good transition. We should talk about this game's exclusive characters. I believe that there are 2 spots out of the 26 that can go to these new characters. One being neutral / on the hero side, kind of like Labris, and the other one being the new villain of this game. I can't really go into much more detail than that, however, since it'd be kind of hard to speculate these types of characters. Something else I should mention though is with this game being set in each game's own timeline, sadly we will not be getting one of the coolest things that came from P4AU, which was seeing what the P3 cast were up to years after the game. That means no Coach Junpei, Featherman Yukari, and not even grown-up Ken. But these are the sacrifices we have to make to be able to play as Makoto and Shinjiro. Now, we may be up to 26, 27 including Kotone, characters, but there is still one more thing I wanted to bring up regarding the cast. Persona 6. Persona 6 is not out yet, but if there were to be a new Persona fighting game coming out right before or around the release of Persona 6, then Atlus has the opportunity to do something huge. What if this Persona fighting game had the P6 cast as DLC? This not only teleports some money from my wallet straight to Atlus, but it also gives us the ability to play as these new characters and allows the game to live a lot longer life thanks to this really cool DLC. This is like killing 3 birds with 1 stone. If Atlus is listening, please, I'm begging, man, do this, please. Anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, consider liking, consider subscribing if you want to, and just leave in the comments what your thoughts are on this. But really, other than that, have a good one.